everybody, and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. My name is Ramses. Let's get started. So in case you couldn't tell from the title of the video, this is focused on Snapshot 17w47b. It's also going to slightly be focused on some things that I missed in 47a. I know that my previous video, if you haven't seen it, I'll link it at the end in the end screen so you can go check out that video. But if you haven't seen it, you'll know that I kind of waffled on a bit at the end and couldn't quite figure out what I was doing, because there was several things that I was noticing as I was finishing up recording the video, and so I just kept tacking on more to the end. There are even some more things I figured out after that point, so I'm going to include those. But first off, the new things. There was a couple things that changed. One thing I said was that I didn't think that these were going to be craftable, but you can. In survival mode even, you will be able to craft the oak, or sorry, not even just oak, but just the bark blocks. 4 logs make 3 bark. And then now, the other thing they fixed in 47b is that you can now craft trapdoors appropriately instead of them all making oak doors. So those are the things there. I'll put these away so they're not cluttering up my inventory. And then the other... from then on, I think everything else is things that were included in 47a that I just didn't really talk about, but I thought it would be good to mention now. The first one is one that I'm a huge fan of, and it's something that I missed with the pumpkins. Before, you had to place pumpkins on the ground like this. You couldn't place them without a block underneath them, and now you can. You can just place them directly on the side of the wall, and that works the same with the carved pumpkins as well, which I think is actually really cool. And the same thing now works if I didn't grab one of these out, but if I grab a fence right here, you used to have to do the same thing with fences, where you would like take just a random block, and if I want to place a fence right there, I would have to place a block under it and then place the fence and then delete the block. But now I can just place the fence without something under it, or rather the fence gate. And so that's a new addition as well. I think this is one of my favorite changes right here. Just a huge help is that I wouldn't call it the hitbox, I'm not sure what you would call it, for both the anvil and the hopper have changed a little bit so that they don't take up their full block. So for instance, I'll show you with the hopper, I'll show you with the anvil. I can click on the crafting table behind it, and I'm not accidentally clicking on the hopper. Sorry, I keep saying hopper. This one is the anvil, this one is the hopper. The same thing is now true of the hopper. It used to be really aggravating trying to click on something that a hopper was attached to and trying to click through the hopper's space. Like if I'm clicking here, this would be right here, used to be clicking on the hopper, but now it's clicking on the chest, which is a huge help, because usually when you're using hoppers, you're also using other things you want to be clicking on, usually more often than you want to be clicking on the hopper. See, I am a really, really big fan of that. Moving on, this is something I noticed almost directly after I posted my last video, and it was the way vines work, and I actually haven't seen anybody talking about this yet. But before, when you would place vines, you could either place it on this side, or you could place it on this side, and it wouldn't let you do both. But now, if I go like this, and even if I click in the same place again, it adds one right there, and now I have 2 vines occupying the same space. And if I click on one of them, they both get deleted, which is interesting. And you can do more than that. In fact, you can do above that too, and I can literally just cover this thing in vines. Obviously, you can't put them on top of things, but you can put them underneath, to the point where actually, if I go underneath here and I start clicking a whole bunch, I can get, this is 5 vines in one block, which is previously impossible, which I think is really cool. And the other thing that I noticed before is when you would, sometimes if you would place like a block below a vine, it would sometimes delete the upper vine, and sometimes... it wouldn't do the one below it usually, but it would delete the one above it sometimes when you placed a block underneath it, and it also no longer does that, which I think is pretty interesting. So you can see, yeah, I can just cover this thing. And you can see I clicked on this side and it even placed a vine over there. That's so interesting. I think that's a really cool addition, so you can really cover things with vines a lot more. The other next big thing that I should mention... this mushroom's too tall. I made this mushroom, by the way. It didn't grow naturally here. But if I... why didn't that work? Oh, it's because I typed too many M's. And actually, I can just click right into survival like that. You'll see what I have in here is a silk touch pick, because what should happen is when you Yeah, and it mines really quickly as well. You can actually get mushroom stems and mushroom blocks, brown mushroom block, and you can do this with red mushroom blocks as well in survival mode or creative mode. They exist in the creative inventory, and then you can actually place them. Here's a weird shaped tiny little mushroom, and you need silk touch, and they mine really quickly, but I think that is a really cool addition, that you can actually get a hold of these blocks that actually used to be in the game a long time ago. I don't remember which version, but if I just break it like this, I don't think I get anything, do I? What if I break the thing? Yeah, this is how you get mushrooms. So if you just break it with your hand, you get mushrooms of whatever color you're mining, and if you break it with a silk touch axe, you'll actually get the block. Okay, so the next thing has to do with beds, and this is another thing that I completely missed, but I found in another video. And actually, I'm going to change my game mode real quick. Okay, so the way you place beds has been updated a little bit. You can no longer place them if there's a block missing underneath. If I try to place this one here, it's obviously going to place back there. But if I try to place here, it's not going to let me. And similarly, if I try to come over here, and also if I delete this block underneath the bed, it breaks the bed, which it changes the way we use beds a little bit, but not hugely. It's just a little bit different. It means you just can't have that stuff there. And then the other really big change, this is the last one for this video, that I just think is totally fascinating and really cool, is you can now place chests right next to each other. It used to be that if you wanted to place this many chests next to each other, the one in the middle would have to be like a trap chest, and you would have to alternate chests and trap chests in order to get them next to each other. But you can actually just place as many chests as you want, and you notice they connect kind of funny. But the other thing that's really cool about this is if you hold shift, it won't connect. So if I just place it like that, then it connects. But if I hold shift, then it doesn't connect. And actually, you can do that as much as you want. I could be placing single chests all over the place right next to each other, which I think is honestly really cool. It makes things so much easier with chests. It means you don't have to use trap chests. I can say that. It's not a tongue twister. Yeah, so I think that's pretty cool and interesting. Obviously, trap chests aren't useless anymore, but they don't need to be as much a part of the game as they used to be, which is interesting. This is one of those things that you just kind of don't think that's ever really going to change. Kind of like, the pumpkins being placed on the wall. That's another one that's like, why, that's cool that they changed that. I'm really excited about it. Did not expect it at all. Same thing with the vines, but there's lots of little changes like that happening with 1.13 that I'm a really big fan of. So I'm really excited to see where this goes, and what other changes they're going to make in upcoming snapshots and in the actual 1.13 release. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little snapshot video. I had fun making it. As more snapshots come out, you guys seem to like this. I built views a lot faster on my snapshot video than I usually do in my survival Let's Plays. So clearly this is something that you guys enjoy, which is why I'm choosing to do another one for 47b for you guys. But smash that like button if you want to see more, and I will keep putting out Minecraft update videos talking about the changes that are happening, because I'm excited about the changes that are happening, and I'm guessing by the views that I'm getting, you guys are also excited about the changes that are happening. So if you didn't check out my previous video, I'm going to link it. It should be popping up any second now in the end screen if it hasn't popped up already. So check that out if you missed my previous video on 47A. But yeah, that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you guys keep being your beautiful selves, and I will see you guys all next time. Have a good time.